for pulling this referendum. What more can you tell us about that?
Well, we haven't. What we've done is we've been saying for a long, long time that adult social care and learning disability funding was critical as we go from one year to the next. And the big crunch for us was always going to be the year after, when we would find a £39 million deficit for learning disabilities. And I believe we are now at a point where I believe there's a way forward which does not involve the council tax referendum. And I believe the government now really does understand the whole issue about adult social care, the crisis that's facing the country, and about looking for a solution. I think the Prime Minister and I think the Chancellor are both, and certainly the Secretary of State for Health, they're both all on that we need to do something about this, and I think this is the way forward.
When you say the situation could become untenable and intolerable, what do you mean?
Well, in my speech, I haven't got it with me. Well, what I was saying there is that obviously at the end of the day, we need the funding and we need to make sure that there's a long-term solution to what we're doing. And like everything else we do in life, there will be risks to everything we do, but I believe it's the right thing for the people of Surrey. It's about, are we going to look after the people of Surrey? And I think we must put them first.
But you're willing to take a risk on it?
I think it's, yes, I think we take risks every day, all of us. You've all taken a risk coming here this evening. Every time we go outside that door, we never know what's going to happen. None of us are avoiding, we can't avoid risks in the whole of our life, but I think it's important that we make a judgment on that risk, and I've made a judgment call this morning.
How can you be so sure that the government are going to step in and give you what you need?
I believe the government now recognises that the adult social care issue is a crisis. The LGA, as you know, has been saying for quite some time we're about a couple of billion pounds short, about 2.5 to 2.6 billion short. The LGA has been saying. I totally agree with that, and I'm hoping that when the Prime Minister and the senior cabinet get round the table, they will be able to address this. I'm more confident now than I was before.
What's your message to people at home tonight who might be worried about this news?
I think this is a great day for Surrey. It's great news for the residents. I spoke at the end, as you may have heard. I'm very concerned about residents who are on limited incomes, residents who've got fixed pensions, and I've had a lot of correspondence with those people who really did understand the issue. They were very sympathetic to where we were, and they wanted us to address that issue. And they wanted somebody to stand up and fight for social care in this country. And I think if the one thing we've done is been able to raise the agenda, to raise the concern of real people on the ground, that the adult social care needs to be funded right, then I think that's really good going forward.
Can you tell me a bit about what made you change your mind? What point did you change your mind? Was it conversations with government?
Well, I'm always open to changing my mind. I've always said that I was looking for some way forward, and I believe the discussions will help towards doing that as we go along in the future.
You delayed the meeting, the start of this discussion, for 3 hours. I believe you were on the phone this morning. Was that to Downing Street, to the Treasury?
I've had a number of phone calls this morning.
Can you tell us who they were with?
Various people in government.
Central government?
Well, there is only one government.
You're the
We're
local.
local. Yeah. I think it's really important that we got the message over. And I think that's the key thing here for the people of Surrey, because at the end of the day, I have never wanted a referendum. I believed that it was something we had no option but to say what would have been a requirement if we didn't see some sort of coming to understanding of where we are.
You've had assurances from government and you think they get it. Have you had concrete assurances there will be more funding?
I wouldn't go into all the discussions I have with government for obvious reasons, because there were private discussions at that time. But I do believe the government now understands that adult social care, the crisis facing the country, and a solution has to be found. I don't think there's anybody in the country who doesn't agree with that. That the opposition, the Independent, the Labour, Lib Dems, well there are Lib Dems, yeah, and the Greens were not prepared to actually go for 4.99, which they know is the bare minimum we could do. So I don't understand. I hope that when you report, you'll tell the people the facts of the truth, the same as I'm telling you. Because we, the Conservatives, have voted totally without a whip. There was no whip. It was a free vote. And we said to people, I said to all my people, you vote with your conscience. You decide how you want to vote. And I think that's what I'm talking about. we need to tell the truth. The people of Surrey deserve the truth.
David, are you able to tell us what the arrangement, what discussions you've had in the government, which might come up that will help, might change people's, which has effectively changed that mind?
I'm not prepared to say any more on that. Sorry, Jack. Please, I'm honest.
And in terms of the opposition councillors, I mean, they were sort of saying you haven't given them enough details for them to actually vote in favour of this budget. Is that fair enough? Did you need to give them more information so that they could go ahead and support you on this?
No, because they consistently fail to remember the Surrey Constitution, like every single local authority constitution, lays out two things that the budget is all about. One is about the budget envelope, and two is about the council's actually going to. That's all. The rest of the budget doesn't get discussed until March when the cabinet discusses it. The Constitution makes provision that the cabinet makes those decisions, not the full council. So,
How long do you think it will be before other authorities follow your lead?
well, I hope that the work we've done, the work that I've led on behalf of many people in local government, that the government will be able to now come forward at some stage soon in the future with some ideas about how we can address this whole adult social care issue.
And Councillor Hodge, the
You
figure
can call me David, I'm not. I'm
on,
just human, you know.
there's 123 million that's been talked about needs to be saved. Do you have any idea how you're going to make those savings?
Yes, I know exactly how 93 of it is going to be saved. We've already got the plans. We've talked this through for nearly 5 months now at the cabinet. They will be then going off to the scrutiny committee to scrutinise it. There is also we've set up this sustainability panel to look and see what other things we can do, because I'm not naive enough to think I know every answer. Yeah? I think it's important that we ask people to come forward with the answer. And as you've probably heard at the end, I've invited all members and all political groups, put aside their differences, right, and actually think about the people of Surrey for once and say, what do you think we could do differently? Because I don't believe one person knows all the answers.
What do you think we could do differently, or you could do differently?
Well, we are doing things differently. I mean, I've put in a huge amount of change since I've taken over running the budget, being the leader in the last 11 years. We've done tremendous differences in this county. You know, Jack, how much work we've done on the roads, because you're a local resident. We've also, and I'm very proud to say, we've invested in our schools. Our standards in our schools are now up to 94%. That's why I'm not worried whether a school is an academy or a grammar or what. I just want the kids to have the best opportunity. We've looked after a 36% increase in adults with learning disabilities. We looked after them. We've provided 13,000 new school places. We've now got, unfortunately, we have 900 looked after children, which is a lot. Yeah, but that's the unfortunate society we're in now. And these children need to be looked after. I know, I was one of them once, you know. I was brought up in care. I really do understand what it's like when there's nobody there to help you, look after you. And that's the difference. I'm a passionate, simple politician who cares about people, not about my own personal self.
You mentioned, you talk about the hope that the government will be finding a solution to this. If a solution isn't forthcoming, then could we be looking next year at a referendum on social care again, do you think? Kate.
Kate, what we've got to bear in mind is I'm required to address this year. That's what I'm doing. And when I'm addressing this year, I'm now more confident that we can get through this year. And obviously this time next year, I hope we are in a totally different position.
How do you feel like this bodes well for your re-election hopes?
I've never actually looked at this about my re-election. I believe the people in my personal division, where I am in Wallingham, in Chelsea and Farley and Tatsfield and Titsey and Woldingham, they know me. They know the sort of person I am. I'm out every day. You know, every weekend I'm out delivering leaflets. My wife joins me. We have a great time delivering leaflets. We talk to people. This is about how do you communicate to the people in your division. Every member should be doing this, and I hope they do. But at the end of the day, the people in my division will make their own decision whether they think I do a decent job on their behalf, whether I stand up for them.
David, did the public outcry when you announced that you were going to do the 15% referendum, did that have any influence on your decision to change it?
I think what people have to understand, when we first said this, my postbag was full of emails from not just Surrey but from across the country, and Of course there were some people who were very upset about it, and I fully understand that, and I actually really feel for them, particularly those on fixed pensions, those on limited incomes. I really do care about them, because they're the ones who sometimes, it's people like me who've got to stand up and fight for them, because to me they're the ones who need people like me out there, and people like the Conservative councillors who will go out and go the extra mile on their behalf. Yes, there was, but there was also a huge intake of people who were writing to me from right across the country. And I'm talking about from Cheshire, from Yorkshire, from Essex, from Dorset, from Devon, right across the country, that were writing to me saying thank you, because we all need to understand adult social care is a big issue in this country.
Was it a stand against the government?
Sorry?
Was it a stand against the government?
No, I don't look upon, I don't believe my job is to stand against the government. I'm not elected to stand against the government. I've never wanted to be a member of Parliament. I'm very happy being a county councillor, doing my best for the people of Surrey. I think this was to stand on principle, on the need, and how do we look after people. You know, it's all very well if you can financially afford it, but there are people out there who can't afford it, and our job is to look after them.
Dave, we've got a message from one of our viewers on Facebook Live. He says, the County Council have managed to alienate the vast proportion of the county playing political games. That from Alex. Wondered if you'd like to respond to that.
Yes, can I respond to Alex?
Yeah, you can look straight to the camera.
Okay,
Yeah.
I will do. And Alex, this was not a political game. This was my job as the leader of the county to raise what I believe was a national issue onto a national stage. I believe I've done that for the benefit of people. When I've got some reassurances, then I'm prepared to do what I did today, and I think that's really important, because I know if Alec is one of our residents, he will know, he will have a chance to make his decision on the 4th of May when he'll go to the poll.
Any other further questions before we call it to a close?
Is that all right?